So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. Just me chilling in the garden. Well, I'm doing repair work following what... thing about the UK is you pretty much have every single season, every single day at the moment. So you might wake up and look out the window and think, oh, it's summer. Get into your summer clothes, and then by the time you get outside, it's like winter. Anyway, enough about the weather. You're looking amazing, by the way, and it's Sunday. Back to the doldrums of work tomorrow for most people. So look, let's enjoy what there is left of the weekend. I first of all just want to, once again, like I said in the community feed, for those of you who have access, I appreciate not everyone does, but because of you guys and the support to this channel, we were able to give a holiday to a very, very deserved person. She has come out of a relationship. She has 2 boys on her own. She is in a position that many people in the UK are at the moment, with the cost of living crisis, where the price of everything is just rising exponentially. But again, through your support, we was able to give her and her boys a week away in the summer to make some memories that they will hopefully never ever forget. But look, that's what this channel is about, passing it on, passing it forward. It's about giving where we can. So again, because of you, thank you. Anyway, straight into the meat and potatoes, as what we are going to be, just, it's a question. It's a question, because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and they raised a very valid point, and it was about Bryan Kohberger. And look, the fact of the matter remains is that the guy either did it or he didn't. But to be sort of right, you have to accept the fact that, yeah, the guy could have just done it. But there is a question in that, and that is with regards to his choice of weapon. The K-bar knife that for many, they believe that this was the knife that was chosen. Now, what I will just say is this: look, even though we hear that there's this K-bar sheath that was left at the scene, the potential that it had his DNA on it, and you know, so on and so forth, let's just take a step back and understand that at no point has it been confirmed that this was indeed the weapon that was used. And in fact, we don't even know, because it's never been confirmed, that the aforementioned sheath belongs to the murder weapon. That is a conclusion that just many of us have made, because of that's the limited information that we have. And there is actually information out there that I've talked about previously that alludes to the fact that there could in fact be multiple weapons, or a varying version of that weapon. But the K-bar in particular, it raises to me is to why Kohberger would have chosen this weapon in particular. And does it go some way, if he is indeed the guy who did this, as part of his plan, was it to indeed set someone else up? Because when you go through the court documents and you look at the search warrants that they obviously raise, there is a store that sells knives. So one may be led to believe that perhaps if he did indeed source a weapon to do this heinous act, then it could have been through a store such as this. But what I find interesting is if you go through this site and you look at the multitude of options that someone has, if indeed their thought process is, look, I need to source something in order to carry out this heinous act. And I would say that potentially the K-bar weapon was not the best choice. There is far more, how can I say, evil looking pieces of equipment. So look, the K-bar, what significance does that hold? Now, is it that there is a military background? Is there a military background to the person who did it? That would be your first belief. You would think that if it was a military knife, that perhaps this was ex-military. And who does that make you think of? Does it make you think of someone in particular? Perhaps Brent Kopacka. Now, was it indeed, is that indeed why some of us feel that when you take Brent Kopacka's story into consideration, and the fact that we then have a military weapon as well, does that further solidify your thought process with regards to this ex-military guy? But then on the other side of the fence, you have to think, did Bryan Kohberger actually know Brent Kopacka? Is it out of the realms of possibility, as the likes of Drip Drop over at Crime Circus have said, did Bryan Kohberger simply know of Brent Kopacka? Maybe they weren't friends, but he knew of him. Did he know of his instability? And did Bryan Kohberger in fact set out believing that Brent Kopacka would make a perfect scapegoat? And was Bryan Kohberger's thought process all along to step back and watch someone unfold? And did Bryan Kohberger actually think that he was going to get away with it because Brent Kopacka would potentially take the fall? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Again, we're just spitballing over here, and I know that many people have considered Brent Kopacka's involvement. Many people don't think Bryan Kohberger has anything to do with it. I'm not at a point now where I feel that Brent Kopacka never had anything to do with it whatsoever, even though I'm open to that being a possibility, of course. But for me, Brent Kopacka and Bryan Kohberger, there is something there between them, I feel. I do feel that Bryan Kohberger certainly has something to do with 1122 King Road. But again, I'm open for being incorrect on that. But yeah, I just feel that the significance of this being a military weapon, for me, the only two options in that would be that this was a military person who actually did the crime, or it was someone who could have potentially been making it point towards that, especially when you pair that with the fact that there are so many more weapons of choice available that would have potentially, for someone in that mindset, would have been much more damaging to use. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. Once again, thank you for the support you've shown to the channel and what we've been able to do because of it. I'm off to continue repairing the damage done by the wind, and I will catch you all tomorrow.